Hey, it's Mike here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a video called The AI Bubble is About to Burst by a channel called Over Easy. Now, this is scaring the crap out of me because I use AI every single day. I'm using ChatGPT, I'm using Sora. I'm getting to the point where my wife is telling me to please, for the love of everything holy and pure, to stop using it because I'm just out of control with it. I love AI, but now people are saying that the AI bubble is about to burst. This guy says 1.2 million views on it. Like, he knows what he's talking about. Is it about to burst? Am I just kind of investing myself into something that is going to go away? So let's go take a look at this. I'm going to like this video. He's got 60,000 likes on it already. Might as well like it. If you guys can please like my video as well, it really helps out with my YouTube channel, and I appreciate it so very much. And hit that subscribe button and bell notification. Let's jump into it.
Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI and unofficial high priest of the AI cult, just randomly admitted that, yeah, this might all be a bubble.
Why would he say that? Why would he say that it's going to be a bubble? I mean, one thing I like about him is he's not super hypey in general. Now, he did just hype up, if you're using ChatGPT, he did hype up ChatGPT 5, and it ended up being a little bit disappointing for a lot of people. But in general, he's not super over hypey. But now he's being, I don't know, he's a little scary.
He told reporters, when bubbles happen, smart people get overexcited about a kernel of truth, which is basically the billionaire way of saying everyone's lost their minds, but like, in a thoughtful way. He even compared it to the dot-com bubble, that fun time when the NASDAQ lost almost 80% of its value because it turned out most internet companies were just PowerPoints with mascots.
So this isn't just about like some perceived value of something where everyone thinks, oh, this is going to be worth a lot. Like, this is, people are actually getting results with AI. People are actually using it, and it's changing the way that people work. I'm most likely either yourself or someone you know has had their job affected by this. Like, this is changing the way that people work.
And honestly, he might be right. The US stock market has almost doubled in 5 years, mostly because 10 giant companies promised AI would change literally everything.
Is that the real reason why it went up so much? I mean, it might have an effect on it, but I don't think that's the whole reason.
Altman's raised billions and is already talking about spending trillions on data centers, which is a totally normal thing to say if you're planning to buy a small moon.
No, that's amazing that he's investing back in it. That's why he's going to grow so much, is because he's putting so much back in.
So here's the real question. If this is a bubble, what did we actually buy? This is where things get weird. Most of the headlines you see about the AI boom aren't about how much value AI has created. They're just about how much the price of a few companies' stocks have gone up, which is kind of like judging the quality of a restaurant by how expensive their forks are. Here's the catch. When a company's market value jumps by hundreds of billions, it doesn't mean that much money magically appeared. It just means the last person to buy the stock paid more than the person before them.
Yeah, they think that it's going to be worth more.
It's like if a single banana sells for $10, that doesn't mean all the bananas on Earth are suddenly worth $10. It just means one very confused person is about to have an expensive smoothie. So, if we actually want to know whether this is a bubble, we need to stop looking at stock charts and start counting what's real. The money, the chips, the electricity, the people. Because if
Or maybe the output, what it's actually creating, what's it actually making.
you burn through trillions and all you get is a slightly faster email writer, that's not a revolution. That's just really expensive spell check with a PR team.
But if you think ChatGPT is about writing emails, then you are completely wrong. I mean, a lot of people, I think that's one of the first things that I did when I used ChatGPT is I went in and I was like, oh, write an email for me. That's not what it does. It does so much more than that.
All right, let's talk about what this bubble is actually made of, because it's not hopes and dreams. It's metal and electricity, and mostly invoices. Just 4 companies, Amazon, Meta, Google, and Microsoft, spent about $344 billion on AI infrastructure in 2024
That's crazy. That's so much money.
alone. That's more than 1% of the entire GDP of the United States, which is wild considering most of us can't even get autocorrect to spell our own names right. And that's just the public numbers. OpenAI, the company at the center of all this, isn't public, so we don't get to see their books. But they raised $40 billion, then lined up another $6 billion secondary share sale, and Altman casually mentioned he expects to spend trillions on data centers in the not very distant future. China's state-owned companies have reportedly spent another $500 billion on their own AI build-out.
And this is great because it means that everyone's competing against each other, which is why this is going so crazily quick, is that we've got computers working against computers, getting bigger computers and more and more and more and more. It's insane.
Based on global chip sales from NVIDIA and AMD, the rest of the world is probably dropped about the same. So altogether, we're already past the $1 trillion mark just on the hardware alone, before even counting energy, staff, or, right now, data centers already
Think about the energy that this is using. This is just crazy.
eat about 1.5% of the world's total electricity,
Whoa.
and according to the International Energy Agency, that number could double by 2030 if AI growth keeps going like this, which is a fun way of saying we might run out of electricity.
Well, if it's okay, here's the thing. It might be using a lot of electricity, but it's probably doing a lot of things too. Maybe doing things that like would have used more energy to do, if that makes sense.
Because your chatbot needed to write a limerick about avocados. The United States grid is especially not ready for this. Most of it was built in the 1960s and 70s, and it's running with just 15% reserve capacity. Meanwhile, China, who built their grid way more recently, runs at 100% reserve, meaning they can casually plug in another few million GPUs without blacking out an entire region. And this strain is already showing up on our bills.
Isn't that crazy? That means China is much more ready for this, and they're potentially going to be in a better position to expand.
U.S. electricity prices have nearly doubled in the past 3 years, partly thanks to this AI build-out. That hits every industry, not just tech. Which means when your grocery bill goes up, part of that might actually be your neighbor asking an LLM to write their wedding vows.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's changing, and if the demand is there, then they're going to build more energy creating things. It's just going to keep on building up on it. I mean, it's simple supply and demand.
The Goldman Sachs analysts say new large-scale power capacity in key U.S. markets won't come online until 2028, and data center vacancy rates are already below 3%. So the AI boom is slamming into a literal wall. There's nowhere left to plug it all in. New Massachusetts Institute of Technology report called The Gen AI Divide found that 95% of companies using generative AI got zero return on investment.
Maybe they just don't know what they're doing.
Not a bit disappointing, zero. The tools look impressive in demos, but the moment you drop them into real workflows, they fall apart like IKEA furniture in a hurricane.
I think a lot of people, they just don't know what to do with AI. They're like, they hear about it and the hype is there. But when it comes to actually using it in your business and creating flows and creating systems, they just don't know how to do it.
The few companies that actually see results aren't trying to automate their whole business. They just pick one boring but valuable task, like back office paperwork, and quietly make it faster.
That's what I do. I pick something that is taking time in my business and I try to make it just a little bit faster. And I'm not trying to replace myself. I just try to make it a little bit better.
Everyone else is out here building half-baked co-pilots for everything and wondering why nothing works. And it's not just bad planning. The tech itself keeps wobbling. Meteor researchers found that large language models do fine on short tasks, but completely fall apart on long ones. Even coding, supposedly AI's best use case, ends up spitting out more bugs and security holes, so teams are literally hiring AI code janitors. Which is hilarious, because that was supposed to be the job the AI was taking. And then there's the stability problem. These platforms change so fast they keep breaking their own ecosystem. When OpenAI pushed out GPT-5, it quietly broke support for custom GPTs and wrecked tons of developers' tools overnight.
And that's what's going to happen. I mean, there's going to be things that change and there's going to be damage that comes in with it, but we're going to have to adapt.
Imagine if Python just deleted half its standard library one morning. That's what people are trying to build on right now. So not only is AI failing to produce returns, half the time it can't even stay upright long enough to try. If the tech isn't ready, why are companies still throwing billions at it? Simple. No one wants to be the one who missed the future. Every big company watched their competitors slap AI powered on something and suddenly get a stock bump, so they all panicked and did the same. Budgets were rewritten, teams were rebranded, and CEOs started saying AI strategy in every sentence just to keep investors calm. It's less about results and more about not looking like the one dinosaur at the robot party.
I think a lot of people have no idea how to use it. I really do. I think a lot of people are just, they have just learned a teeny little bit about it and they're thinking that it's going to replace them. We're not at that point yet. AI is an assistant, not a replacement.
And this isn't new. The same thing happened during the dot-com bubble. Companies were adding .com to their names and instantly doubling their valuation. Sam Altman described it perfectly. This is a bubble built around a kernel of truth. The internet was real, but most .com companies weren't. AI is real, but most of today's AI companies probably aren't either. And while all this hype was building, workers, especially juniors, got convinced they couldn't get hired because AI took all the jobs, when in reality, hiring was crashing because the post-COVID-19 pandemic hiring bubble finally popped.
Well, I do know a lot of people that have lost their jobs because of AI. And it's because AI is taking over what they were doing. Like, I don't need to hire a graphic designer anymore. I don't need to hire anyone to write my emails for me anymore. I don't need to hire my assistant, who is great, but I don't need to have her doing everything that she was doing before. And I can make everything much more streamlined.
It wasn't robots replacing them. It was just companies realizing they accidentally hired 5 front-end teams during lockdown. So now, you've got this weird mix of FOMO and ego pushing everyone to keep spending, even as the returns flatline, which is basically how every bubble works. It's not logic holding it up. It's pride. In places like Silicon Valley, investors don't actually need working products to pour in money. Just a good story. And right now, we're building the future with AI is basically the cheat code for fundraising. Coastal VCs are calling this the biggest private tech bubble ever.
I think the whole AI thing, though, like in the internet marketing niche and like JVZoo and whatnot, people in the last few years would just put like AI on their products, but I don't think it's working much anymore. Customers would see that in the past and they would be like, oh, it's AI. But now it's just like everything has AI on it. So it's not necessarily a bump unless you can actually prove that the AI is getting results. That's the difference. It's like, is it okay? Sure, it has AI, but does it actually do something?
Which is impressive considering these are the same people who once funded a $400 million juicer. Private markets also let the bubble grow faster because there's no daily stock price to expose how shaky things are. A company can raise billions, burn through it, and as long as the next round comes in at a higher valuation, everyone pretends it's going great. Meanwhile, most of the stock market's AI optimism is concentrated in about 10 megacap firms like Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta. They've tied up so much capital in AI that even Goldman Sachs expects spending to slow soon. And when it does, the hype driving their stock prices probably goes with it. Bubbles don't wipe out everything. Most of it pops, sure, but a few pieces survive and become the foundation for the next wave. After
Healthy, it's a healthy system, and it's going to, maybe we're at a point where we're getting overly excited about it, but I still think we should be excited.
the dot-com bubble, thousands of startups vanished, but Google, Amazon, and eBay crawled out of the rubble and built the internet we use today. The same thing will happen here. Most of the flashy AI startups will disappear, and the survivors will be the boring ones quietly building chips, data centers, and power grids. So yeah, the AI bubble will pop, but the tech won't die. It'll just get quieter and more useful.
So yeah, what do you guys think of this? I mean, I like, I love AI. It's amazing. I use it again every single day in my business. I was one of the people that I'm a late adapter of it. I wasn't using it in the beginning. I thought it was overly hyped and it was just like some random email writer. But man, it's changing everything. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like this video. It really helps out my YouTube channel, and I appreciate it. And if you like videos like this, subscribe and hit that bell notification. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in my next video.